your day?
Doing great.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our council meeting today, which is June the 17th. Thank you all for being here. We are going to start with our opening prayer to be led by Pastor Bonnie Underwood of the All Saints Episcopal Church. And then the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by one of the members of the Warner Robins Fire Department, Assistant Chief Jason Mock. We're going to ask that everybody please stand so that Pastor Underwood can start us in prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty and loving God, we thank you for your many blessings, for our constant love for each of us, and especially for our beloved city of Warner Robins. We ask that you bless this council meeting today, continue to guide us all in our efforts to serve this community, and grant to all who hold office and all who serve this city your spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice. Provide each of us the courage and foresight to provide for the needs of our entire community, that with steadfast purpose we may faithfully promote the well-being of all your people. All this we ask in your most holy name, Almighty Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Underwood, for leading us in prayer, and thank you, Assistant Chief Mock, for doing the pledge. I officially call today's meeting to order. I will first request an adoption of the agenda with the following amendment, which is an amendment for item number 3A, amending line number 8 to Crown Sports instead of R3 Maintenance. Again, with the amendment to line 8 of item number 3A, changing the company to Crown Sports instead of R3 Maintenance.
Mayor, I make a motion to adopt the agenda with the amendment of number 3A, number 8 on the purchasing sheet would go from R3 Maintenance to Crown Sports. An amount would change to $58,000, and that should be the only change. So I move to adopt the agenda.
I'll second that, Mayor.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. I do want to make a point of correction. That amount that is amended to is $58,500. $58,600. Again, $58,600. Right, so we have a motion to revise it, to change in that amount. Do we have a second? All right, seconded by Councilman Curtis. All right, all those in favor of the adoption of the agenda with the noted revision, including amount, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries. Now it's time for announcements. We have a few things listed for the announcements. We have the Mayor's Health Initiative, which has officially began. Mayor's Health Initiative is something new we started last year, and it's something that I did to help promote the community to get active. We all know that obesity is big in the United States of America. We have problems with hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, all these things. So for the warmer months in the month, I decided to do a Mayor's Health Initiative just to encourage people to get active and take their health seriously and do something different during these months to help promote healthy living. So if you will look on the city's website, on the city's social media accounts, you're going to see a calendar which shares all the dates for our Fitness in the Park, which includes opportunities to do some physical fitness in the parks, such as yoga, such as Zumba, cardio fitness, kickboxing, and you also will see opportunities for clinics, which is where you get to learn how to do something like how to play pickleball. Pickleball is very popular now. It's spreading everywhere. But for those of you who have not played pickleball, it's a really cool sport. We have courts at Ted Wright Park, also at North House and Sports Complex. And we have opportunities for you to learn how to play for free. And all the fitness courses we have during the Mayor's Health Initiative are also free to the community and open to the community at large. So it's something fun to do, something different. We'll also have a seminar series in partnership with Houston Healthcare. So look for those opportunities as well to hear about ways to improve health when it comes to diabetes, men's health, for example. The list goes on. So really excited about that. So please stay tuned to our social media and website to see how you can participate in this year's Mayor's Health Initiative. We have the summer meeting schedule. We talked about it in pre-council, but I do want to remind everyone who is here or viewing with us on social media, in July, our meeting dates are changing. In July, the first Monday in July is July 1st, okay? We know Independence Day is July the 4th. So we want to take that date and reschedule it to July the 15th instead of July 1. So no meeting July 1. July 15th is the meeting. That meeting will start at 11:30 with pre-council and then 12 o'clock with our council meeting. The meeting originally scheduled for July the 15th will still be on July the 15th. That means we will have 2 council meetings in one day. One that starts at 11:30 with pre-council, and the second one will start at 1 p.m. So mark your calendars. Make sure you don't show up here on the July 1, but show up on July the 15th for your lunch hour, okay? 11:30 or 1 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you then. The last thing for announcement is the Independence Day celebration. Of course, Independence Day is July the 4th, but we are celebrating it the weekend before Independence Day, which is June the 29th. June the 29th at the MAC, okay? This is where we have that there every year. It's at the MAC. And our talent this year is a repeat of those who were scheduled to be with us last year when we got rained out. We had the Daz Band. They got to perform. The other two did not get to perform. So the two that did not get to perform last year reached out to us asking to come back again this year to perform. And that is Scott Stapp and Jefferson Starship. So make sure you come. It's going to be a great time for all. Great food, great music, great atmosphere. So please come. Bring your chairs, bring your blankets, bring your fans, bring your water, and let's have a great time together celebrating the Independence Day for our country. All right, now we're going on to, sorry, what time did it start? 7? Okay, so for Independence Day, the show is starting a little later this time because it's hot in the summer. The show starts at 7, but the gates open at 6. So get there before 6 so you can get a good parking spot and get a good seat. There will be maps posted on our social media and website so you can see where parking will be, but it'll be the same place as it was last year. We will have a shuttle service, which is a bus, to get you to the location, but on the way back, most of you will be having to find your own way back to your vehicles. So looking forward to Independence Day. Now for proclamations, awards, and presentations. We do have quite a few here, so just bear with us. We have 2 proclamations, 3 different awards, and then 1 presentation by the ladies ministry at the Christ Lutheran Church that we're really excited about. So I will start with reading 2 proclamations. There are no individuals here to accept these awards, but I will be still reading them, and then we'll move on to the rest of the segment. Okay, so the very first proclamation we have is for Men's Health Month. Men's Health Month is the month of June, and who knows the color for Men's Health Month? I see a few men wearing this color, actually. I see 4, 5, 6, 7 men wearing, 8 men wearing the same color as me, blue. Blue is the color for Men's Health Month, so thank you to the men who participated by wearing blue and didn't even know it. This is great teamwork. I was very intentional in wearing mine, as my twin was as well, blue for Men's Health. So let me go ahead and read it. Proclamation, Men's Health Awareness Month. Whereas men's health is a critical component of overall public health, impacting individuals, families, and communities alike. And whereas, despite the progress made in medical advancements, men continue to face unique health challenges, including but not limited to cardiovascular disease, mental health disorders, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and substance abuse, to name a few. And whereas our fathers, sons, and brothers of our community are our providers, protectors, and leaders. For them to be at their best, it is with great importance that we all do what it takes to ensure their health and well-being to keep our families and communities strong. And whereas, raising awareness about men's health issues, promoting preventative measures, and encouraging early detection and treatment are essential steps in improving outcomes and reducing surrounding stigmas concerning their health. And whereas, by understanding the importance of the health issues of our men and what they face, we not only become more educated in their wellness needs, but as a community, we can show our support by urging our men to be proactive in their health for a happier life. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed on behalf of City Council and the citizens of Warner Robins that I do proclaim the month of June 2024 as Men's Health Awareness Month. I encourage our community to become knowledgeable and aware of the medical issues our community leaders, protectors, and providers face so that early detection can save their lives. So to all the men out there, make sure you go see about yourself. Go to the doctor, Get checked according to what the doctors say you need to do by the age they recommend it. Let's remove the stigma of taking care of yourself, because we need you to be strong so our community can continue to thrive. No one's here to collect it, so we don't need to clap. Okay, next one is also something that impacts a lot of men, but it also impacts women. It impacts every member of our society as far as age and generation. So this particular awareness is about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And that month for that is also the month of June. So whereas post-traumatic stress disorder is a serious health condition that can develop after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic, distressful event. And whereas the experiences that PTSD can form include, but are not limited to, domestic, mental, and verbal abuses, childhood trauma, military combat, and fields surrounding first responders. And whereas commonly noted symptoms of PTSD include disturbed changes in moods and cognitive responses, intrusive memories, hyperarousal, and avoidance of trauma-related stimulation. And whereas providing education and resources surrounding PTSD gives our community the ability to recognize the signs and get individuals suffering the help that they need without judgment or fear for healing and recovery. And whereas by raising awareness to this form of mental trauma, we as people would be honored with constant resilience and courage to those who live with PTSD. Our community would be extending gratitude to our veterans, our abuse survivors, our emergent caregivers, and others whose voices give light to the crucial matters. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by myself, on behalf of the City Council, citizens of Warner Robins, proclaiming the month of June 2024 as PTSD Awareness Month in the City of Warner Robins. I encourage our community to learn the symptoms and treatments of PTSD so that we, as a city, can be of service to the fellow neighbors wanting to heal, recover, and become a functioning addition to our society. Again, let's remove the stigma of getting treatment for PTSD. Many of us have been impacted by someone who suffers from PTSD and refuses to get help, which in turn causes that person PTSD. So the cycle continues until you take responsibility of your own health and improve your own health so that you're not negatively impacting the ones that you love, because many of us know all too well the negative impacts of PTSD if left untreated. All right, now it's time for awards, and I'm going to ask Ms. Melanie Byers to come up and do the Employee Service Awards for us.
All right, we have 2 Employee Service Awards this evening. The first is for Timothy Walker. Officer Walker is with our police department for 5 years of service.
Thank you, Officer Walker, for all that you've done, being a member of the family for 5 years. This is your service award certificate, and this is your pin. It is silver, so this is how you commemorate that you have reached 5 years of service with the City of Warner Robins. So congratulations and thank you.
All right, and next we have Captain Lee Van Alsdahl, also with our police department, with 30 years of service.
All right. Captain Van Alsdahl, congratulations on dedicating 30 years of your free time to serving the public All right, so now we have an award for the person you just heard from, which was Melanie Byer. And Melanie Byer has dedicated a large amount of time to pursue a goal which she set for herself. This thing is heavy. Okay. She is the interim director of human resources for the city of Warner Robins. And when you pursue a career in human resources, it takes more than just having the academia, more than just having a degree that says, I know human resources. To me, the best individuals to handle human resources are those who have a certification specialized in that, meaning they have completed specialized courses, showing that they have what it takes to lead a human resources department. So in the state of Georgia, we have the Georgia Local Government Personnel Association, and they recently held a spring conference at UGA, and at that conference, Melanie Byer was presented with her Level 1 certification as a certified human resource manager. So, to do this, she had to complete 13 classes and self-directed learning projects. So I'm going to ask everyone to please join me in congratulating Ms. Melanie Byer for now being a certified human resources manager in the state of Georgia, as I present to her her certificate from the University of Georgia Carl Vinson Institute of Government. So Ms. Byer, if you'll come up, and congratulations to you. All right, now we have an award, and I believe Chief Fisher may be coming up for this one. It's an award for the state accreditation. Okay, great.
Warner Robins Police Department is a proud member of the Georgia Associations of Chiefs of Police, and one of the few agencies within the state of Georgia that does a law enforcement certification for the agency. In the state of Georgia, you have 159 counties and over 628 police departments. But in total, there are only 144 agencies that have state certification in law enforcement. And what that means is that through our policies and procedures that we meet a state standard of professionalism and excellence, of which our department has 144 standards of which we have to be evaluated by. This past December, we had a committee come in throughout the state to conduct a thorough background review of our agency. And what they do is they go over a 3-year track history, because the certification window is for a 3-year period, and they review all of our 144 areas of policy for the standards and make sure that we are in compliance, not just the 1 year, but for all 3 years. The Warner Robins Police Department got high recognition and regards through the accreditation committee on the professionalism in which the agency presented itself and its availability for the review. But in as much as that, as I like to take pride in our agency, I want to take pride in the recognition that they gave to our certification manager, Sergeant Matt Smith. In these efforts, the committee wanted to express specific gratitude to Sergeant Smith for his dedication to the efforts of the Georgia Law Enforcement Certification Program as a certification manager. And this isn't a position that's taken lightly within an organization. As I made mention, we are 144 agencies that have been accredited out of the many that we've named. And it takes a lot of effort to go ahead and make sure that our policies are in compliance. We're supposed to every 6 months, and Sergeant Smith and I have gotten back and forth onto this, to review and be ensuring that we are in compliance. And when the committee was here and looked at a few of our policies that were a little dated, long in the tooth, but still sufficient, we were able to address any of the concerns that they had, and again, we were able to make sure that we had 100% compliance with it. So Sergeant Smith, I'd like to say thank you for your dedication and effort, and present to you the plaque which they To put this in closing, though, I'd like to, again, have Sergeant Smith remain up front. If you'd come back, sir. Sergeant Patrick Allen, if you'd come up forward for us, please. So during this time that we're going through the certification process, we're also going through a transition of our certification managers. And Sergeant Patrick Allen was a key asset in helping the department come through and get our certification. And the police department itself is awarded the certification plaque, and in the Warner Robins Police Department, now this will be our third one in 9 years. We have these displayed down in the lobby of the police department. But what I'm going to do is, in recognition of this, is to present to Sergeant Allen so he can place this up onto our wall as well, in recognition and thanks for his dedication effort as well to our agency receiving its accreditation again for the next 3 years. So again, Sergeant Allen, thank you, sir.
Okay, so now we have a presentation by the Ladies Ministry at Christ Lutheran Church. If they are here, and they are here, wonderful.
Well, I'm Candace Cluster from Christ Lutheran Church in Perry, Georgia, and we brought 32 quilts that we have made for the homeless shelter that Brian Wise is going to be opening in December. And we brought 2 of the 32 just to show you what they look like. Thank you.
Right. I want to give another thanks to the Ladies Ministry of Christ Lutheran Church for their generosity and those beautiful quilts that they all made just for some individuals who will be in need of shelter as soon as the city opens its homeless shelter, Haven Hope House. So thank you for joining in with us for this great cause. Now we're going to go to the items on our agenda. We'll start with number 1, which is an approval of the minutes from the regular meeting to be discussed by Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At this time, I'm sure we've all had a chance to go back over the minutes from the meeting of June 3rd, and I call for approval of those minutes.
Second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Lashley, seconded by Councilman Holmes. All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 2 is the portion of our agenda that is for you. We have 2 opportunities for the public to come and give comments. The very first one, which is now, is for anyone who has comments pertaining to items on the agenda only. So if you have comments from items 3 through item 13 that's listed on this agenda, you will have an opportunity to approach the podium and speak. If you have an item about something that is not on the agenda for today, you will have your opportunity to speak after we complete item number 13. Then you can speak about whatever it is you'd like to share with us. So at this time, we ask anyone who has a comment, question, or concern about a current agenda item only to take the podium. You will be given 3 minutes on the clock. Please state your name and address. Please note that neither I nor council can respond to you, but we are listening to you. The floor is now open.
Ms. Mayor and Council, Oliver Bateman with the Bateman Group. We have 2 items on the agenda tonight. Both of them pertain to Peach County. And just wanted to thank y'all for y'all's consideration, and hopefully we can continue the growth like we did with Buc-ee's out there. And just want to thank y'all for your consideration in these matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bateman. All right, will there be anyone else? Going once, going twice, 3 times. The door is now closed. All right, now we're at agenda item number 3, which is the consent agenda to be discussed by Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a motion to bring before us to approve the consent agenda as presented. On the agenda, we have 11 purchasing items, which you've heard the mayor discuss the change. Item number 8 on the purchasing to Crown. Again, I move for the adoption, the approval of that. We also have 2 employee promotions. I do have the names of the individuals I'd like to present. Kevin Sappington, promoted from UT Maintenance Worker Sewer to Job Class 916, Grade 8, Utility Department to UT Maintenance Worker 2, Sewer, Job Class 926, Grade 9, Utility Department, to be effective June 24, 2024. Also, Mr. Carl Williams, promoted from UT Maintenance Worker, Sewer, Job Class 916, Grade 8, Utility Department to UT Maintenance Worker 2, Sewer, Job Class 926, Grade 9, Utility Department, to be effective June 24, 2024.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Holmes, seconded by Councilman Lashley.
We also have, Mayor, 4 home occupation permits, which I'd like to include in this motion.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilman Holmes, which includes the home occupation permits, and it's seconded by Councilman Lashley. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Do we have any of the individuals who were just called out for their promotions here with us today? If so, we ask that you come up. Okay, they are not here, but we still congratulate them. Moving on to number 4, which is an ordinance for the fiscal year 2025 budget to be discussed by Councilman Bibb, and this is the second reading.
Thank you, Mayor. As stated, this is the second reading of the ordinance. Whereas the mayor of the city of Warner Robins has prepared and submitted to the city council a line item budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. And whereas the mayor and council have studied and revised the proposed budget, and it is in the best interest of the city that the budget be adopted. Now therefore, be it ordained by the mayor and the council in the city of Warner Robins that the annual budget for the general government for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025, attached hereto are made part thereof for the funds and amounts referenced as follows and hereby approved and adopted. Budget expenditures for $153,352,225. Transfers from other funds, $6,388,099. Total expenditures for the transfers out, $159,740,324. Be it further ordained, if any of these ordinance and part thereof of the city of Warner Robins is in conflict herewithin this ordinance and shall have preference. If any provision of this ordinance are held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect any of the other provisions which can be given effect without the invalid provisions. And to the end of the provisions of this ordinance are declared to be serviceable. This provisions of the ordinance was first read on June 3rd, 2024, and shall become effective and adopted on June 17th, 2024.
I second that motion.
All right, motion by Councilman Bibb, seconded by Councilman Curtis. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Now, number 5, which is a resolution for Engage Warner Robins to be discussed by Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a motion to approve a resolution of mayor and council of the city of Warner Robins, acting pursuant to OCGA 36-4. Appoint the following individuals to the Board of Directors of Engage Warner Robins for the city of Warner Robins. Mr. Craig Gordon to serve from June 17th to October 17th. Mr. Peter Tran, June 17th to October 17th. I move for
I second that motion.
All right, motion by Councilman Holmes, seconded by Councilman Curtis. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, number 6, resolution for fiscal year 2024, CDBG final statement to be discussed by Councilman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I make a motion to approve resolution that LaRonda Patrick, as mayor of the city of Warner Robins, is duly authorized to execute fiscal year 2024 CDBG final statement resolution.
I second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Curtis, seconded by Councilman Holmes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 7, a resolution for surplus property to be discussed by Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I motion to approve a resolution that the value of each individual item on the Exhibit A, which is the surplus property sheet, is more or less than $500, and the said property be sold in accordance with the laws of the state of Georgia. Exhibit A can be found in the packet or online.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 8 is a resolution for the city's personnel rules and regulations to be discussed by Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I make a motion to approve the resolution to approve the amendments to Section 1610, use of personal vehicles of the city's personnel rules and regulation. The full resolution can be found in the packet and online.
Second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Lashley, seconded by Councilman Curtis. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Number 9 is a resolution for a license agreement to be discussed by Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I make a motion to approve a resolution to authorize Mayor LaRonda W. Patrick to execute the license agreement between Sharon Mark Simcox and the Warner Robins Development Authority, DBA, Engage Warner Robins, in the city of Warner Robins, Georgia.
I second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Lashley, seconded by Councilman Holmes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. All right, number 10 is a resolution for a land transfer to Engage Warner Robins to be discussed by Councilman Bibb.
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion to approve the resolution to authorize the city attorney's office to undertake all necessary steps to effectuate the transfer of ownership of the Houston County tax parcel ID OW19DO 010000 located at a plantation road of Warner Robins, totaling approximately 24.37 acres of property from the city of Warner Robins to the Development Authority of Warner Robins, Engage Warner Robins, and to authorize Mayor LaRonda W. Patrick to execute a quitclaim deed for the above described transaction.
And I'll second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Bibb, seconded by Councilman Lawrenson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, so we're on a groove here. I know it sounds boring to you all, but we're happy. So now we've made it to item number 11, which changes it up a little bit. This is going to be a motion for rezoning petition for land on Vietnam Veterans Memorial Parkway to be discussed by Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Board recommend the approval of this particular application. And the motion is to approve the rezoning petition request of Friends of Lydia, LLC, for property including right-of-ways totaling 33.38 acres located at Vietnam Veterans Parkway, Memorial Parkway, south of the intersection of Vietnam Veterans Memorial Parkway and 247 connector, also known as tax parcel 052B 070, from R3, which is General Residential District, to C2, General Commercial District. Now move for the adoption.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Holmes, seconded by Councilman Lashley. Any discussion? All right, so this is some property that is located in the Peach County portion of the city of Warner Robins. So for those of you who don't know, we are in 2 counties, Houston, the majority, but we are also in Peach County. So this is a parcel that lies in the Peach County portion of Warner Robins. So we're continuing to grow. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Number 12, motion for a rezoning petition, again for property located at Vietnam Veterans Memorial Parkway, to be discussed by Councilman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I make a motion to approve the rezoning request of Friends of Lydia LLC for property including all right-of-ways totaling 40.45 acres located at Veterans Memorial Parkway, south of the intersection of Veterans Memorial Parkway and 247 connector, also known as tax parcel 052B, from R3 to C2.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Curtis, seconded by Councilman Bibb. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 13 is an ordinance for an annexation of property owned by the Sledge family, along with a couple others, to be discussed by Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to motion to approve the ordinance for annexation requested by Johnny Sledge, Randall Sledge, Sherry Hamblin, and Kathy Coghill of property included all right-of-ways totaling 17.08 acres located along the south side of Russell Parkway on both east and west side of the intersection of Russell Parkway and Sullivan Road, also known as tax parcel 060042, and I would like to waive the second reading.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, waiving the second reading, seconded by Councilman Bibb. Any discussion? This is another parcel that's located in the Peach County portion of the city of Warner Robins. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. A second part to that is a rezoning petition to be discussed by Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make an additional motion to approve the rezoning request of the same property from RAG, Residential Ag District, Peach County, to C2, Commercial District, City of Warner Robins.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, that completes all of the numbers on our agenda. We will now open it up for citizen comments. If there are any citizens who would like to make a comment, address a concern or an issue, you will be able to come to the podium and make your voices heard. You will have 3 minutes. You will have 3 minutes on the clock, which will be right above the rotunda. Please be sure to state your name and your address when you're speaking. Note that neither I nor council can respond to you, but we are listening. The floor is now open. Oh, there was a gentleman that was coming up right behind you. He said go ahead. He said go ahead.
I don't want to get thrown out again by that big gentleman y'all got over there by the door. It's been a minute since I've been here. My name's Thomas Reynolds. I actually live on Bonanza Drive, Von Air, Georgia, but I've been a long-time citizen of Warner Robins and still have a vested interest in property in Warner Robins. What I'm here to talk about tonight is I'm under the impression that when you have a problem in the city of Warner Robins, the buck stops here. And Ms. Mayor, the buck apparently didn't stop in your office. The buck didn't stop in the mayor's office. On sometime at the end of May, a family was apparently evicted from 700 Briarcliff Road, and all the belongings were left in the road on Briarcliff Road and on Sunset. I looked at this for about a week, and multiple times I called the City of Warner Robins Code Enforcement Office and got no answer, got nothing. Finally, on the morning of Monday, June 3rd, I got a pleasant young lady and talked to her about the issue and asked that somebody respond to me so I would know what was going on. I did not get a response, so I got back on my soapbox on Wednesday, June the 5th, and I called the mayor's office. And out of respect for somebody that's I talked to earlier, Madam Mayor, I will not go into who I talked to at your office, but that's not my job. So I carried on and I called CFL, Lisa and Brandy at CFL, and well, that's not our job either. So I decided to ride down to the Office of Code Enforcement. When I got to the Office of Code Enforcement, a gentleman was coming out. I said, "Are you a code enforcement officer?" He said, "No, sir. I'm the city marshal." I told him what I wanted. He said, "That's not my job. You got to go inside." So I went inside. I spoke to a pleasant lady inside because I knew one of the city employees that was in there. That's why she was kind of pleasant to me. And she said, "Let me make a phone call and let me look something up." So she did. And I found out the lady's name was Adrian that I talked to on that Monday. Very pleasant. And she did do what she was supposed to do. She did put it in. I just did not get followed up on. So the lady at the code enforcement office, she called the code enforcement officer and had him call me, which was pretty well right away. And I said, "I'll wait on you here," and he did. But that gentleman came in and he gave me a "that's not my job." And when I get a "that's not my job" from the city marshal and "that's not my job" from the code enforcement officer, I got a problem with that. And I got that code enforcement's name and number right here. I asked him, could I have a card? I'm fixing to finish, I know. I asked him, could I have a card? And he got a case of about, "No, you can't have my card. Why do you want my card?" "I want your card so I'll have something to remember who you are." But ma'am, "That's not my job" is not acceptable. And I kind of take offense to that, having been a long-term resident of the city of Warner Robins, having actually been a city council candidate of the city of Warner Robins, and having talked to people. My credibility is not, but I have pictures. I have people who I talk to. But I will say at 11, about 12 o'clock, I called 911. The code enforcement officer said, "You got to call call the police department." I called 911 at 12 o'clock. Nobody had still come to the location I asked them to come to at 12:45. I called a non-emergency number, said, "Forget it, I got to go somewhere." But the good part about that is an officer called me. Is anybody here in management for the City of Warner Robins Police Department? Anybody close? The chief's left.
Yeah, they stepped out.
Ma'am, there's an officer named Jump. His last name's Jump at the City of Warner Robins. You should make sure he's thanked, because he, in fact, called me. He said, "I don't know about it, but I'll go take a look at it." He gave me the correct answer. He did not give me "that's not my job." And once again, I'll stay till it's over with, but I spoke with somebody earlier. That's not my job, as high as the mayor's office in the city of Warner Robins, is not a correct answer. Sorry for taking a few extra minutes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Are there any others?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. I'm Michael O'Brien. I live on Pine Bluff Drive, and I'm not here to complain this afternoon. I'm here to compliment one of our citizens, and he works with Rebuilding Together, and I think most of you know Jerome Stevens over there. You don't have to stand up, Jerome. You're okay. But we also have Marty Habecker over here. He's the head of the VFW chapter. Marty came to me. We've been friends for eons. I've worked for Jerome for about over 20 years now. But Marty came to me about his brother. His brother's a retired Navy vet, worked on the base, painting airplanes, C-130s, and he fell off one of the airplanes, hurt his back pretty severely. And during the recuperation period, he developed a form of palsy that's untreatable. So he's been suffering from that for several years. He's in a small house on Kingsbury Circle, and it was not at all handicapped equipped. So with Jerome's help, we developed a team. We went out and raised enough funds to do the job. And we had to put a deck in there in front of the front door, so we had a platform to maneuver in and out of the house, and a ramp down to his driveway, along with a handicapped bathroom. His bathroom was absolutely awful for a handicapped person. So we had to expand it. We had to move the toilet, put in a handicapped shower. It started with tearing all the walls and the floor and everything apart and going from the ground up. When we got that all done, there was a horrible situation with his driveway. It was basically stone combination, old asphalt, some debris concrete work, very unlevel and not handicap at all. We went out with estimates. Marty got estimates for asphalt and concrete, and it came to about $6,800, which was not doable at the time. Well, we got a citizen, and I'm not sure where Jerome found him, but this gentleman is a fireman, and in his spare time, he works with Maverick Concrete Finishing, LLC, and his name is Andre Grace. I don't know if many of you know him. Is Andre here today? That's really good, because now his name is registered with Jerome, and he's going to be doing a lot of concrete work on a volunteer basis. Somehow or another, he was able to work through Jerome and all with the concrete folks, and he got us a price of $1,000 to put that concrete driveway in. 12-foot wide, came up to the handicap ramp perfectly. It was how long, Marty? 50 feet, full length. So if you guys have an opportunity to see Andre Grace, I got his card here. He's an outstanding citizen. I can't thank him enough for all the work he did on that concrete driveway. And I have a few before and after pictures if anybody's interested. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any others?
Good evening. My name is James Ridmerchek. I live at 1501 Green Street, apartment 91, Warner Robins, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to address the Mayor and City Council for the commitment made by the Warner Robins Police Department and Fire Department to attend and recognize their department employees of 2023. This also includes cities of Perry and Centerville, as well as Houston County. Robins Air Force Base and Georgia State Patrol were also present. It was an honor to be among the men and women and their families Saturday, June 15. It was also an honor to be selected to ring the bell for each fallen member of the line in the line of duty. I appreciate the recognition of Mayor Harley of the City of Centerville, and also Mayor LaRonda Patrick, who had given me a recognition I am honored to receive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Armachek. Will there be anyone else?
My name is Heather Talton. I'm a resident of the Kathleen community. I'm here to represent a bunch of us. I've emailed majority of the staff on the city and the county. Over the last 6 months, you have Keith Newton and Chad Bryant trying to purchase Highway 127 and Old Perry Road and trying to annex it into the city limits of Warner Robins and make it commercial. It is a spot zoning. It is an island. In the meeting last week, I got here at the tail end coming back from ICU Center and the Burn Center, so I got here at the tail end of the voting. When the vote was made, Ms. Broughton said, would everybody please make a vote? 2 people said they agreed to it. 1 person said they did not. She then said, I am not going to vote because it would be a deadlock. At that point, we all felt like if you weren't going to make a vote to begin with, you should have addressed that to begin with. Keith Newton and Chad Bryant want to say that they're credible builders and engineers, but they are not. They've purchased the Woodlands section behind Roberts Road, behind Old Perry and East Bob White. They've built the land up. It's in the city limits of Warner Robins. From what we've understand, City of Warner Robins is paying for the sewage lines to be put in. As a result, they've built the property upwards and flooding out all of our land that was never flooded before. Nobody wants to address the issue with them. I get one side saying it's city, I get one side saying it's county. I've emailed all of y'all multiple times. I've been told, well, you're gonna have bird bath puddles. Bird bath puddles I can understand. When I'm standing in over 12 inches of rain in rain boots and have a ruler, and that's not a bird bath puddle. When you're destroying other people's property to make money, you're not helping the city of Warner Robins and you're not helping the people that have been established. So we wanted these issues addressed and let you all know about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talton. Will there be anyone else? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. The door is now closed. All right, we want to thank everyone who did come to voice their comments, concerns. We love hearing from you, and we will address any issues that you have shared with us. Now it is time for council comments, and we're going to start on 6, so you can go first, and then we'll end with Bibb at number 2.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Cap already left, but thank you for your 30 years of service. I just want to ask everybody to keep Miss Beverly Hicks uplifted in prayer as she mourns the loss of her mother. Miss Hicks has been a pillar in this community for so long, from being an RN to one of the most successful real estate agents here in Warner Robins, a mentor, an advocate for her community and the children. So I just ask that everybody keep her uplifted in prayer as she her and her family mourns the transition of her mother. Thank you, Madam. Oh, and also, happy 4th of July to everyone. I know we're not going to be meeting before then, so everybody be safe and just have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of those individuals that received awards and for the services which they have rendered. Also, Ms. Byers, she's gone. Congratulations to Ms. Byers for completing her certification for human resources. And then I close by saying thank you to all of you citizens that take the time to come out and sit and hear us first and third Mondays of each month, and when we have call meetings. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I'd like to echo what Councilman Curtis said. I've known Ms. Beverly a long time, and there is no finer woman in this town than that woman right there. She has always handled herself with grace, and I know she's doing the same now, but do what he said and keep her lifted up in your prayers. And there's other families in this town that need all the prayers you can get right now, too. And the other thing is, remember, it's, I ain't got to tell anybody, it's hot outside. But remember the ones that can't take care of themselves, all the way down to your pets. Be careful. They go quick. I lost a dog to a heat stroke that got left outside a couple years ago. I was at work. We had a lady that was doing some work at our house. She let the dog out, and then she forgot about him. And when my wife got home, she couldn't find him. I came and found him, and he had a heat stroke. And they go quick. And that was 96 degrees that day. It was 101 yesterday. So take care of your pets, take care of your people, during this time of year. And then Independence Day is coming up, and let's remember what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, thank you again for all the hard work you guys did on the budget. And this is my 11th one, and I think it was the best so far. So thank you for your great work and all your team, and very proud of that. Also, I would like to say I'm looking forward to being with everyone this weekend as we go to GMA to learn and grow together, and hopefully we can get together and have a great time and learn how to serve the citizens of Warner Robins better. And I want to congratulate Ms. Beyer again on her HR certificate and all those that received promotions, and hope everybody's having a safe summer, and God bless. Have a great one.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Bibb.
Thank you, Mayor. Everybody be safe. I'll reiterate what Kevin said. It's getting hot out there. Be aware of yourself, and also be aware of your surroundings, and be self-aware. Have a happy 4th of July, an Independence Day as we celebrate. Come out to the city fireworks show, which is going to be massive, and hopefully we'll have some big explosions in the air, and everybody gets to cheer at the bright lights lighting up our city. So thank you for all who are going to participate in that, and volunteers that are coming out to put on such a celebration. God bless you, and have a great time.
Thank you, Councilman. So we have yet again passed another budget for the city of Warner Robins for fiscal year 25, which begins on July 1st. We have a fiscally conservative budget. We were able to decrease our budget this fiscal year and still be able to maintain the increase in pay that our city employees received last year. So I want to thank all of the finance department, all of the executive team, all of the directors and assistant directors, superintendents, all of the staff who had anything to do with making this budget what it is this year. We really did show all of our constituents how we really do know how to balance a budget and do so smart. All revenues are up when it comes to our enterprise funds. Again, on our budget, you saw revenues projected for the fiscal year, but if you look at what we have made this current fiscal year, you will see all revenues are up in our enterprise funds, so that is a recipe for winning. We did it together, council and I, so I'm very humble and thankful to serve with the men that I serve with up here every single day, and with the staff that I work with every single day. So with that, I'm going to say Happy Independence Day. I look forward to seeing you all on June the 29th at the McConnell Talbert Stadium as we once again celebrate Independence Day with a great fireworks extravaganza hosted by Robbins Financial Credit Union. And we have the big talented stars, Scott Stapp from Creed and Jefferson Starship, celebrating their 50th anniversary. So make sure you are there and do not be square, and let's have some good fun. With that, meeting is adjourned.